This is Tom Owens. He's a story artist here at Big Idea. Today, he's going to show you how to draw the Ventrilomatic and Rusty.
Okay, today we're going to draw the Ventrilomatic and Rusty, which are a pair of robots. In this episode, they're always sitting behind a desk, so I'm just going to draw that desk surface for them to sit behind. I'm going to go up here and find kind of the top of the drawing where I'm going to start. Ventrilomatic's head is like a rectangular shape that's kind of flared out. It's a bit on the, it's sort of rounded on the edges. And then he's got a long, narrow little post neck, and that just sits right in the middle of his body. Now his body is kind of a barrel shape thing, so you see where the neck sits right in the middle of this shape here, which is the top of his body. On the front of his body, he's got this long rectangular box with 3 buttons in it, right down the center of his body. Then he's got big round shoulders, and he wears a bow tie. Now, his face has a sort of a rectangle-shaped window that his eyes are inside. And it's a bit round on the top, squared on the side, square on the bottom. And because it's kind of a hole into his head, I'm going to double this line up here so that like you can see the edge, and then his eyes are like little balls in that shape. His mouth is again a rounded rectangular shape cut out of the front, so again we see that edge. And then his mouth is kind of like a screen that's got a sound graph that moves when he speaks. If his eye line was here, you'd figure his ears hang just under that line, and they're kind of donut shaped, thick, round kind of donut shapes that hang off the side of his head. And then he wears a bowler cap. So we'll draw the brim of the hat sitting on his head, kind of crooked. Now, Rusty sits on his lap, so we'll draw him sticking up from behind the desk here, and his head is similar, but it's wider at the top than it is at the base. So we'll do that same sort of rectangle shape, and then we'll do his little neck as well. And then it, same way, sits in this barrel-shaped body, and he's got his little round ball shoulders. Draw the center of his face, and his eyes sit in also one of these cutout windows. And his is rounded and kind of high on one side, kind of off-center. And we'll do the little eye sitting in there. And the same with his mouth. His mouth is kind of crooked, so I'll draw it higher on this side than this side. And his lips don't move, so this is a hard shape. It stays like this all the time, and then, you know, there's that sort of beveled edge. And then in there, he's also got that sound graph for when he speaks. And he also wears a bow tie, so we'll draw that in there. Color it in so you can see it better. And then he's got also these kind of ball-shaped shoulders. He's got narrow arms, and his hands are kind of ball-shaped with long, narrow, kind of pointy fingers that he waves around a lot. So we'll do the other hand. Now Rusty's arms, Ventrilomatic's arms come down. This one's sort of behind Rusty, like he's controlling him. So we'll just do that arm kind of disappearing behind the other guy. Rusty also wears a hat, so I gotta do his hat. And then this arm we can see a bit better. His upper arm is wider at the elbow than it is at the shoulder. And then we draw this joint where his arm turns at the elbow. I'll do his forearm. His forearm is real narrow, little skinny arm. And then he's got the same hands, just bigger. Just this ball shape with the pointed long fingers. And there's Ventrilomatic and Rusty.